Today we're going to be recreating the first season of Ninjago, miniaturized. These are tiny ninja, and in today's video we're going to be building machines, locations, and dragons, all from the pilot season of Ninjago. For our first build, we have Kai's blacksmith shop.
Kai's blacksmith shop was one of the first Ninjago mocks I ever made for my Brick Legends YouTube channel. So we're gonna get the pieces we need for this small build and start building it up. This is a cute representation of the blacksmith shop. I was even able to add the water tower that almost falls on Sensei Wu. In order to build the water tower, I got these metallic small plate pieces and used them for the water tower. The roof of the blacksmith shop uses two of these small roof elements. I added a sign above this very small miniature door. Now that this small blacksmith shop is done, it needs a world to be placed into. And what better than a micro Ninjago display? This micro Ninjago display is full of many details from the pilot season of Ninjago. You've got the classic trees, the mountain where the Monastery spinjitsu will someday stand, a volcano, and many other small details scattered throughout. Big thanks to my younger brother who designed this whole entire display for me. And now we can place the blacksmith shop at the base of this mountain. Using forced perspective, we can also recreate the very first shot from Ninjago, where Sensei Wu is walking towards Kai's blacksmith shop. It literally looks like we stole this shot right from the show. If we set large Kai beside this blacksmith shop, you can really see how massive the actual minifigures are, so we need micro figures for this build. I got micro figure Wu and Kai. But watch out, there have been some sightings of skeletons throughout the land of Ninjago. Kai needs to stay on alert to make sure these skeletons don't attack.
For our second build, we have the skull motorcycle.
Here are all the pieces you need for the motorcycle. I quickly built it up, and we've got two micro minifigures to go with it. Jay and a skeleton. I also gave Jay a pair of miniature nunchucks using golden binoculars. Now we can recreate this Lego set, but way smaller.
For our third build, we have the turbo shredder.
I used these metallic plate pieces I've used in one of my previous small builds and got to work on constructing the miniature turbo shredder. Once it was complete, I was pretty happy with the end result. It even has room to fit one of the skeletons. It's got the flames on the back, and the skeleton in the set has a bamboo hat, so I got a small one for the skeleton. We've also got Jay and Cole. For Cole, I gave him his small size of flakes, and now we can recreate the turbo shredder, but much smaller.
For our fourth build, we have the skull truck.
And if you want to build it yourself, here are all the pieces I used. Now it's time to speed build this miniature skull truck. Once it is done, you can definitely see the iconic shape of this skull truck. I even have the original skull truck we can put beside it for scale. Here are a bunch of different shots just to see how small this miniature one really is. The big one can basically eat it. I love how menacing I was able to make this face, even though it was so small. And I added different features like the exhaust coming out the side and the grapple hand on the back. For the minifigures, we've got Jay and Zane. With Zane, I gave him two tiny little star pieces for his shurikens. We also have a skeleton and Garmadon, which looks kind of goofy because I used my not so great coloring skills on his body and head.
For the fifth build, the Monastery spinjitsu.
Here are all the different parts I'm going to use for this monastery. And now it's time to do a quick speed build of this monastery. I used hinge plates to make the walls angled in. On the very front, we have a large red door. Off to one side, we've got a pink cherry blossom tree. I used some of these new 1x2 flat slope pieces for roof elements on the front. I also used a hot dog piece on the very front of the building. We can grab miniature Kai and Sensei Wu and set them beside this monastery. And now we have a fully completed Monastery of Spinjitzu. It might be complete, but we still need to place it on the micro Ninjago world.
For the sixth build, we have Zane's ice dragon.
These are all the pieces I used to construct this dragon. I used a very small bracket piece in brown for the saddle, and the claws are orange to give it that original color palette. For the head, I actually used a dragon handle in white, and I used these gun elements to attach the wings and the claws.
For the seventh build, we have Cole's earth dragon.
The colors here were brown and sand green. For the head, I actually had to paint on these dragon handle pieces to make it brown, and for the wings, I used these small drill pieces. The end result is pretty cute, and now we can place miniature Zane and miniature Cole on these dragons.
Eighth build, we have Jay's lightning dragon.
Now these are the parts I used for Jay's dragon. I built this dragon up, and for the tail I used a lightning element and some lion yellow claws for the end of the wings. The head of this dragon I had to paint blue, and on his neck I attached a flagpole.
And for the 9th build, we have the Fire Temple.
We're gonna start with Kai's dragon. Here are all the parts I used for it, and we'll speed build this thing into a small dragon. For the wings, I used tiny little flame pieces, and like I did for Cole's dragon, I had to paint the head for this red. I made the tail using a red claw piece. These are all the different pieces I used to construct this fire temple. The main colors for this building were red, and I tried to stay as accurate to the Lego set as possible. You've got a little bit of a moat around the front of this build, and there's even a small room inside the temple. Above it, I put a golden claw to indicate the fire sword. And we can even grab Master Wu, Kai, 2 skeletons, and Garmadon, and the fire dragon from one of the previous videos, and recreate this fire temple set.
We also have a 10th build, and this is the Ninjago spinners.
This right here is a full-size spinner, and we're going to make a tiny one that only uses 2 elements. Well, technically, the big spinners only use 2 elements, but the tiny ones are very tiny. We even have a micro figure Cole. And yeah, this is even smaller than the miniature Cole. We've got big Cole, mini Cole, and micro Cole. We also have micro J to go on a different spinner. Now we can make the arena by attaching a lot of these segments with poles and golden clip elements in a row and making a hexagon shape with it. We can place the spinners in the middle, and on the back we'll add a red sign. Now back in the day, you were able to play with these Ninjago cards to determine who would win the battle after the opponent was knocked off. I want to make some of these Ninjago trading cards miniature. So I went onto my computer, worked on designing these, printed them out, cut them out, glued them onto Lego pieces, and now we have 2 playing cards, one of Cole, one of Jay, and 4 other cards that are flipped over yet to be revealed. And I added clips to them so you can click them to the side of the arena. Now Jay and Cole can fight it out to see who is the better ninja. Well, Jay won, but this game must have been rigged, because I'm pretty sure Jay's not the best ninja. Well, at least they beat Chad in this tournament. Now it's time to pull out our miniature Ninjago display and continue on this story. One day, while Kai was working at his blacksmith shop, he hears a rumbling sound, and 2 skeleton vehicles come rumbling down the hill to Kai's blacksmith shop. It's now time for Kai to defend his blacksmith shop. He's defeated one of the skeletons, but suddenly he looks over and sees a swirling tornado of energy destroy the motorcycle and the skeleton on it. It's the wise Master Wu. But suddenly, they hear a rumbling sound. The skull truck comes rumbling down the hill. This menacing vehicle is very threatening and actually captures Kai's sister, Mia, and drives away before Kai can catch them. Kai thinks all hope is lost, but Master Wu has different plans and tells Kai that he will teach him in the Monastery of Spinjitsu. Sensei Wu and Kai climb to the peak of this mountain where the monastery majestically stands. Inside, Master Wu trains Kai how to be a true ninja and shows him his other ninja companions, Cole, Jay, and Zane. The ninja are set out on a quest to find their golden weapons and their dragons. Zane finds his shurikens of ice and flies away with the ice dragon. Cole finds the side of the quakes and this beast of a dragon and flies away with it. Now on the back of this display, there's some metal wires sticking up that we can place these dragons on. Now these 2 dragons can fly over the land of Ninjago and protect it from any enemy skeletons. But now it's time for Jay to climb to the pinnacle of this mountain and find the lightning dragon. Now he can fly away, and we can set him on one of these metal poles flying over Ninjago. But oh no, the skeletons are attacking the overworld. Kai finds the Sword of Fire and the Fire Dragon and swoops down to save Mia. He also takes out all the skeletons and Garmadon. Ninjago is finally safe. And guys, honestly, this miniature display is so much fun and looks so cute with the different mini locations, vehicles, dragons, and micro figures that you can place all throughout this build. It was so much fun to see this miniature Ninjago world come to life. There's finally peace in Ninjago for a little while.